Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me for this month's Facebook Live. Today, I am going to talk about IR35, what it is, and how it affects the workers. So what is IR35? IR35 is a rule which became law in 2000. It is also known as the off-payroll working rules. IR35 was put in place to stop workers, mostly contractors, being able to work for a company as an individual when they are really an employee. If someone falls under IR35, they are taxed at the same rates as if they were an employee. So who does IR35 affect? Well, IR35 affects all workers or contractors who are not self-employed. The workers will usually have their own company, so it could be a limited company, partnership, or individual, and they work through that company. Someone could be working through a limited company and not be affected by IR35. It all depends on the circumstances for each of the clients a business provides services to. Well, how do I tell if IR35 affects me? Well, the first thing to establish is whether you are definitely self-employed. HMRC have drawn up several statements to help someone to decide if they are self-employed. In order to be classed as self-employed, most of the following statements need to be true. You put in bids or give quotes to get work. You are not under direct supervision when working. You submit invoices for the work you've done. You are responsible for paying your own national insurance and tax. You do not get holiday or sick pay when you aren't working. You have a contract with each client that uses terms like self-employed, consultant, or independent contractor. HMRC have an online checking system available that can help someone to understand if they would be classed as employed or self-employed, and I will post the link to that system in the comments. If HMRC are looking into whether you are truly self-employed or if you fall under IR35, they will look at all of the different factors and decide from there. So it is very important that any contracts you provide reflect how you work with your clients. For example, you will be invoicing them for the work, whether you are being supervised by them, whether you get sick pay or holiday pay. The next step is to look at the 3 key indicators that someone falls under IR35 or not. 1. Do you, as the person providing the service, have the right to provide a replacement worker to carry out the contract if you are unable to do it yourself? 2. Is there an obligation on your client to provide you with the work and an obligation for you to carry out that work? This is referred to as mutuality of obligations, or MOO. 3. Are you, as the person providing the service, in control of how the work is done, where it is done, and when it is done? The more factors that show that you as the service provider are the one that is in control, the more it will indicate that you do not fall under IR35. There are other conditions that are looked at to help determine whether someone falls under IR35 or not, and this includes things like who provides the equipment. What happens if I do fall under IR35? If, after all the checks have been done, it is determined that you fall under IR35, sometimes referred to as inside IR35, you will be considered an employee of the client and will be subject to PAYE. So you will be required to pay the correct tax amounts for PAYE and national insurance. You will also have to declare on your tax return that you fall under IR35. There is guidance on HMRC about how to calculate what the appropriate amount of taxes you need to pay if you are deemed to be under IR35, and I will put that link in the comments. If you are under IR35, the way in which you calculate your income is different. You will not be able to claim all of the expenses a business is allowed to claim, as you are restricted to only being able to claim a flat rate of 5% for general expenses, and any other expenses that are claimed can only be ones that employees are allowed to claim from their employer. There is a documentation on the HMRC website about those types of transactions, and I will post that link in the comments as well. You are then allowed to claim capital allowances, but only on any equipment that's been bought that directly relates to the work you are doing, and any pension contributions made to an approved pension scheme. In terms of national insurance, if you are under IR35, you will be required to pay Class 1 and Class 1A national insurance contributions, which are directly related to employer national insurance. There is further guidance on the HMRC website, and again, I will post that comment in the links. As IR35 is quite a complex situation, especially when calculating out the correct amount of tax that needs to be paid, I would advise that you have a bookkeeper or an accountant help you with filling out your tax return and ensuring that the correct amounts are paid to HMRC. If you have any questions about IR35, please feel free to message me or put your questions in the comments. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and don't forget to join me for my next Facebook Live in April 2023.